Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to your very own Try It Before You Buy channel with your host Karamullah Kadwani. Today is all about Raja Perfume's Parfum De La Nuit 1 and budget alternatives. Spoiler alert. Similar experience as per my nose but not the same. The other two perfumes that I'm going to be talking about, one being quite similar and the other not very similar but on the same lines, that you could try for lesser price. This is a 2016 launch and I discovered this particular one a couple of years ago. Also created by one of my most favorite noses in the business, Roger Dove himself. A few interesting reviewers might say what they have to and they talk much about the pricing, but truth be all, they also own these fragrances and deep down inside know that it's worth every penny if you can afford it, or make an exception and use these fragrances for special occasions only rather than shying away from purchasing these altogether. One of a lifetime purchase if totally worth it in my opinion. Either which ways, folks, if this is your first time you're tuning into my channel and you love watching fragrance reviews from recent times and old, and you haven't still subscribed, please do take the time out to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell and share this video as much as you can. That helps the channel grow. I am now very close to 600 subscribers and I've noticed that more than 80% of you haven't subscribed yet. So if you could please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell, you'll be updated every time there's a video. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, I would like to do a top 10 or fragrance house overview in which we'll discuss all the perfumes that I have within the house. Liking and sharing my videos will also support my channel and help you contribute. If you do wish to contribute to my Ko-fi account that's mentioned below, but that's only if you'd like to do so. Without wasting any more time, let's get into this. Parfum De La Nuit 1 by Roger Dove is an amber woody fragrance for women and men. The nose behind this fragrance, as mentioned already, is Mr. Roger Dove himself. The perfume launched in 2015. Top notes are top note is bergamot, middle notes are gaiac wood, clove, patchouli, vetiver, cedar, papyrus and saffron. Base notes are labdanum, benzoin, tolu balsam, castoreum, civet, styrax, vanilla and tonka bean. The quote by Mr. Roger Dove himself, he says it's a provocative and rich, this fragrant exhibitionist announces its presence, consuming any who fall into its path. It is the most predatory of perfumes and that's why Parfum De La Nuit 1 is touted to be the predator. Bergamot wraps around a warm blend of gaiac and cedar woods, patchouli, papyrus and vetiver, which is enlivened by clove and costly saffron. The whole fragrance is held captive in a soft balsamic base of cistus, labdanum, benzoin, tolu balsam, styrax, vanilla and tonka bean, made sensual by civet and castoreum. This fragrance is available in a 100 ml bottle and retails for 4,800 dirhams. A very pricey proposition at that. Metallic, bitter up top with the bergamot and sweet but not overly so. Very complex fragrance to say the least and shines as do all Roger perfumes in the base. Hours 2 to 3 is where you will only get traces of the top and the heart. No oud and florals listed, but you may be reminded of oud and its earthiness thanks to the masterfully crafted use of patchouli, cypriol and vetiver, also not overtly so, just a hint. Floral nuances also created by the combination of notes. I'm guessing tolu balsam, other notes that are in the composition might be contributing to the floral nuances, though there's floral notes are not listed in the composition. So tolu balsam, cistus, labdanum. Please watch the review for learning more about the difference between cistus and labdanum, which we have done for in yesterday's review from the house of MDCI, Shibur Palatan, benzoin and vanilla that make it dominantly an amber fragrance, a category you'll learn with all my upcoming videos. I love. Might refer to Amber Absolute if you can get your hands on this rather difficult discontinued gem by the house of Tom Ford, layering it with the now discontinued but easier to find tobacco oud from the house of Tom Ford, to add a layer of dirty ashy tobacco and whiskey with the Amber Absolute base. Though whiskey is not listed here as well, balsamic, resinous, amber with civet and castoreum to add the animalic like nuances. So I don't know if it's true, but true to you, but I keep spraying this one as I find the opening and the first 2 to 3 hours quite engaging, and that holds my interest in the journey. It's very addictive and it's mesmerizing. It mesmerizes me for sure. It may last 6+ hours. It does last. The longevity is not a question with Roger perfumes. Longevity is good, but the first 3 to 4 hours is where truly where the money is at. Also, just the speculation from my end, Roger Dove is known for the invaluable materials he uses. Makes me wonder if these are mostly naturals, as if it were crafted using a 30-70 ratio between naturals and aroma chemicals. He could have made it last longer. The quality of these raw materials I could vouch for, eyes closed. I mean, the materials that Roger uses are next to none. So you'll imagine Roger using almost the same base for all the 3 fragrances in this collection, that is Parfum De La Nuit 1, 2 and 3, with small tweaks to give user a similar experience but different nuances, if that makes any sense at all. He also perhaps loves the use of labdanum, as you'll soon discover in a full in-depth review of a 10,000 dirham fragrance. Yes, you heard it right, 10,000 dirham fragrance for 100 ml. It's touted to be the fragrance he created for himself under the Haute Luxe collection. It's also touted as the king of labdanum fragrances and labdanum Bior fragrance. If there's only one fragrance that defines you, it has to be it, at least in my humble opinion. Price is a rather subjective topic, and we shall not debate on prices in my reviews. However, if you watch till the end, I'll provide you lesser expensive alternatives and budget options as well for a similar but different wearing experience. One of which I may have already suggested, hint hint. Let's also not forget that I'm a sucker for presentation, and the reason why I do own these rather expensive perfumes is I think they're worth every penny in gold. From the presentation to the choice of materials to the profile to the masterfully crafted compositions, I think it's a must-have in all fragrance connoisseurs collections. The dent I will be showing you in when I cover the presentation towards the end of the video, and the dent is what I put over the last few months as I was trying to savor this one for a very long time, and I wanted to get the most out of the maturation process by spraying it very less often the first 2 or 3 years, and now that I spray it, I feel the juice has darkened over the period of time, as you can probably see it in the bottle, or you would rather see it in the presentation that I make at a later stage. The juice has darkened and it has become more beefier. It has more heft, if I may. It was completely worth the while. However, I've learned that one must enjoy themselves in the hour, and it's a way of thanking the one above for all the blessing he has bestowed upon us, rather than saving things and being miserly, thinking about what the future holds sometimes. Tops bergamot, heart cistus, and opens animalic, but don't let that put you off. As with all other blends, nothing really stands out, and the expert use of civet and castoreum is done to perfection. As mentioned earlier, you may be tricked into thinking there is oud you smelling in the fragrance. Truth be told, it's definitely the earthy smelling cypriol and huge dose of tolu balsam that has the sticky like smoky nuances. Also the cistus labdanum showcasing its leathery facets. A treat for the very less fragrance fanatics, maybe due to the price point. It captivates you right away, but you also want to walk away the first few times you smell it. I've noticed these true to the word masterpieces have had that effect on me, and though I've walked away a few times, these are the artworks I've come to love the most in my collection. Just like tobacco oud, there's no mention on the whiskey note, but there is a very pronounced whiskey note to my nose, which Roger truly probably could have capitalized on. Missed opportunity if you ask me, but a marketing genius that Roger is, he may not have wanted to mention the whiskey note altogether, as it might make the end user buyer think that this might be inspired by Tom Ford's tobacco oud that came out much earlier, I think 2013. I'm not sure exactly which year it launched in. I forgot to look at it. Amber Absolute, as mentioned by the House of Tom Ford also, which the base has reminiscence of, was launched in 2007. I guess tobacco oud in 2013 or somewhere in those lines. And this one came out, as earlier mentioned, in 2015. So Roger might have altogether dismissed the mention of the whiskey note, because on Fragrantica for tobacco oud, it clearly in the top note says whiskey. I do hope Amber Absolute and Tobacco Oud make their way back, as some of the fragrances have in the Tom Ford signature line and the other line, the private blends. A few of these perfumes have come back, and I hope that Amber Absolute and Tobacco Oud come back. Rumor has it that they're working on bringing back Plum Japonais, which happened to be a fan favorite back in the Tom Ford line, a perfume loved by many. I've deviated yet again. Let's get back to Parfums De La Nuit 1, as I'm trying to make these videos shorter. Haha. I don't think I ever could, especially trying to do these one-off reviews for these masterpieces that in my humble opinion can only be experienced, not explained. Labdanum can have these sticky, ambery, leather-like undertones, and the cautious use of civet adding to the animalics, and the Gaiac wood bringing in depth and smokiness to the composition. This one really keeps you engaged, and there's an interest as the perfume keeps changing from the initial spray until it reaches the 3 to 4 hour mark and stays beyond, but then it kind of settles in, at which time I usually try to respray because I love the experience. I love the journey that this takes you through. I still cannot stop wondering why they'd make just a big deal out of the rum note in Parfums De La Nuit 2, which we shall review in the upcoming months, and Cognac and Enigma, also known as Croatian E, but refrain from mentioning whiskey in Parfums De La Nuit 1 if the note of whiskey, which to my nose has been used. Let's quickly try to recap the entire journey and give you my comments on Peri and my closing comments on Parfums De La Nuit 1. A quick mention that there may be floral nuances I'm picking up, could be contributed to the combination of the notes used, as there's no mention of floral notes. The amber woods, if any, are used eloquently and elegantly, giving off a very niche, rich-like vibe. The tolu balsam, vanilla, cistus, and labdanum makes it primarily an ambery scent. I do get traces of incense, though not mentioned again, could be contributed to the combination of notes in the fragrance. So if I could give you an example, I'd say to you, take for example, if you needed to reach from point A to point B, and you're traveling in your BMW, you might want to take the shortest, most direct route. But in your Rolls Royce, you definitely would like to take the scenic route, no matter how long the journey takes you, and it take you to your destination either ways. So it's rather the journey and the fascination is bringing along with then getting to the destination is what life's all about. The destination is what it's all about. Tobacco oud taking you directly to the destination, whereas Roja takes you through this scenic route in your Rolls Royce, if I may. So let's break this down the best I can. Now, Parfums De La Nuit 100ml retailing for 4,800. Tom Ford Tobacco Oud still retailing at Bloomingdale's, Sephora, Harvey Nichols maybe at 1,085 dirhams for 50 mils. You may also give Oud Abromad a chance by the house of BDK Parfums, which retails for only 908 dirhams for 100 ml from Sephora. We shall be discussing these in depth in my upcoming reviews. However, let me quickly take you through the notes and the breakdown for BDK Oud Abromad. The top for BDK's Oud Abromad is saffron and ginger. The heart has cumin and Turkish rose, bringing the spicy, sweaty like nuances, body odor some people might refer it to as. Base has oud, incense, gaiac wood, labdanum, patchouli, ambroxan and castoreum. For tobacco oud, the notes listed on Fragrantica, the top as I mentioned is whiskey. The heart has spicy notes, cinnamon, coriander. They do not disclose what the spicy notes are except cinnamon and coriander. Base notes of tobacco, oud, incense, sandalwood, patchouli, benzoin, vanilla and cedar. So let's get into the presentation real quick, and while this is probably the fourth or fifth take that I'm doing to bring to you the presentation for Parfums De La Nuit 1, I discovered I picked up the wrong box by error, which I filmed in the earlier intro, the presentation, and I noticed that I have an old batch of Parfums De La Nuit 1. For me, the old batches are gold, not really pertaining to the house of Roja Perfumes, but also other brands where reformulations are killing the perfumes. So the one that I have, I'm sitting on gold. I have the kind of the old batch. Can't call it vintage because it was released in 2015, but the old batch is always has stayed a while. The maturation process. I've had it for over 6 years, I think, maybe 5, and so I sprayed it very few times earlier on in the journey, but I find myself going to Parfums De La Nuit 1 more often than I ever did. The juice has darkened. It's a little heftier than the versions that I'm now trying at the Roja Perfumes boutique. So this is the presentation for Parfums De La Nuit 1, and I will very quickly cover Parfums De La Nuit 3, which I have a newer batch of, and I'll show you the differences in the packaging, in the box, in the bottle, what changes you might experience. That does not by any means that these products are counterfeits. It's just different batches. The recent batches have, I think, lesser details. The older batches have more details to the bottle and the box itself. This is the box for Parfums De La Nuit 1. As the back mentions, the house of Roja Perfumes, made in England, I suppose. The Parfums De La Nuit branding here. So either side on the all the batches, you had Roja's signature, and this is what the kind of the bottom part looks like, with all the details of the perfume and the name Parfums De La Nuit 1. I will show you the I call it a sleeve, I guess, which is then once you open the sleeve, you have the lacquered box in which the perfume sits in a nice velvety cloth. This is the box, the packaging I received for Parfums De La Nuit 3. It only says made in England here, like so. It does have the Parfums De La Nuit branding here, but if I've noticed correctly, there are listed details on the bottom in the newer one. So it does not say Parfums De La Nuit 3, or it does mention it, but in a very fine print where it's not as visible as the older batch. The box is the sleeve for the older batches. I will open the sleeve, and you open it like so. It's like a box. So this kind of comes off, and then you pull out the lacquered box, if I may. That's the lacquered box with Roger's signature again. You notice these gold hinges that you can see in the back. The door's magnetic, which is and that's your Parfum De La Nuit 1 bottle resting in the velvet cloth. You have the gold hinges, if you can see the details. It's luxurious. The presentation is next to none, and I would say the fragrance is as well. So you leave this like so and it kind of clicks together. It's kind of addictive, but I don't want to kind of spend more time on this than we've already did. I'm shooting this, like I said, for maybe the third or the fourth time without exaggerations. This is the bottle. It's bejeweled. It's adorned with these jewels. It says Parfum De La Nuit 1. I hope it's focusing. Look at the color of the juice. It's almost boozy. It's ambery, brown. It's dark. It's macerated. It says Roja here. You'll see in the details on either side. It'll say Roja Parfums, and that's one way to tell the older batches from the newer ones. I will show you the bottle for Parfum De La Nuit 3 in just a bit. This is the atomizer for Parfum De La Nuit 1, and I do not wish to kind of spray this on a blotter. I hope you're able to see the atomizers, and the atomizers are great on Roja Parfums. The concentrations and the sprays, atomizers, next to none. The most beautiful packaging. And so this shall go back into the cooler, drier, darker space that I have for my perfumes. This is this is Parfums De La Nuit 3 with the Roger signature here. The same lacquered box presentation. Forgot to mention that not only is this a magnetic door, the lacquered box itself is kind of a fingerprint magnet. Presentation is again next to none. Parfum De La Nuit 3 resting housed in the beautiful velvet that it so rightfully deserves to be. That's Parfums De La Nuit 3. I hope you're able to see this. Again, bejeweled Parfums De La Nuit 3. I'm sorry for the fingerprints. I haven't washed off my bottle, but the newer batches do not have Roja Parfums mentioned on the side, either side of the bottles. It's just a clean presentation. And I will not get into the spray for this one because I already sprayed almost retakes. I've already done about 12 to 14 sprays on De La Nuit 1. I would not want to spray this. We shall move on to Oud Abramad and the presentation for Oud Abramad and the presentation and spray for Tom Ford Tobacco Oud. Just a short note which I don't think I mentioned in the review in depth is if you are stepping up your game in fragrances and do not feel comfortable purchasing a 4,800 dirham perfume, are not able to understand the perfume or the structure or the complexity that these perfumes come with. All of Roja's fragrances are masterpieces. They have a certain level of complexity within them. The base is really heavy. So for the easy designer type frag heads or people who are into blue perfumes, I mean freshies, which I don't remember the last time I sprayed a freshie in the last 25 years or so. Not boasting, just everybody has their preferences, everybody has their choice that they make in their lives, including the fragrance journey is no different. My humble opinion, my humble suggestion to you is to go try Oud Abramad. It retails about 908. Even if you don't like it, try it a few times before you make the purchase. Step up to Tobacco Oud Get an amber fragrance that you can layer tobacco oud with. Works beautifully. One of the perfumes that I like layering most of my amber fragrances with is Maitre Perfume at Gantier. I'm sorry, I told you I'll butcher all French names anyways. Is Amber Amber Presso Ultime, and Amber Mythique. Amber Mythique being, I think, the most cloying, the most choking kind of hazardous fragrance. No, it's not actually. But yeah, so if I don't think you can find Amber Absolute by Tom Ford, which has been discontinued for ever, and I don't know if it's going to make it back to the line that Tom Ford has to offer anytime soon. But yes, you can layer tobacco oud with an amber fragrance. Step 2, and then step 3, try Parfums De La Nuit 1, 2 and 3, and I am sure that you're going to fall in love with it. That it's not a diss on anybody. It's not. I'm not attacking any reviewer. I'm not going to name names, but there are people who have these fragrances. Highly talk about them. They're there in their ranked fragrance lists, and they kind of shame the fragrances for the price points they sold at. Look, listen, buddy, it shouldn't be a surprise. Roger Perfumes has always been ultra niche luxury. There's always been a price tag associated with Roger, and so if you're going to talk about the perfume, would probably prefer fragrance reviewers kind of reviewing the fragrance profile. Yes, you can discuss prices, but there's no point. I mean, you have it in your collection. Other people, it's subjective. So to whoever can afford the fragrance, or whoever can make sense of owning these expensive fragrances on their own, and those who do not want to kind of indulge and splurge in the luxury, by all means, there's all kind of different houses and price offerings, perfume profiles, perfume families, olfactive notes, olfactory experiences they have to offer. I don't think they should diss Roger on the prices he's charging. Period. That's it. That's all I have to say. That would now be the presentation of the BDK Parfums Oud Abromad. So it has the ingredients listed here. I'll try to focus this for you. And so it has the ingredients listed here. I don't think all the ingredients are listed, but I think whatever they considered were the major notes are listed here. This opens up like so. And at a price point of 908, I think the presentation pretty much does it. It's not bad at all. This is the box it's housed in. I like the color. It's black with a few details down under, few details in the back, of course, regarding the house. That's the bottle that it comes in. Let me try to focus this for you as well. So it's not a very dark colored juice like Parfum De La Nuit 1, but the sprays are good on these. That's how the spray is. Good mist, good coverage. I like the perfume profile. It's a good alternative to, maybe not an alternative, but if you do want to get into that space, and if you want to start, the more you smell, the more you appreciate fragrances, and I suggest you sample the Parfum De La Nuit 1 at the Roger Perfumes boutique. It's available in Dubai Mall. This is the last perfume presentation and the last perfume that I'll be showing you, which I consider, if you like Parfum De La Nuit 1, or if you like Tom Ford Tobacco Oud, you might want to try Parfum De La Nuit 1. The usual Tom Ford presentation. It's a 50 ml bottle. I couldn't get the 100 because it's been discontinued for some time now. I got this from Bloomingdale's. And the sprays, maybe not as misty as Oud Abramat, but they get the job done. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and leave in your comments letting us know what you think about the review. Until the next time, your host signing out, Karamullah Kadwani.